Hello YouTube, it is Thursday, September 5th. I'm bringing you a very tragic story out of Chillicothe, Ohio. It is an old story, but it is a story that needs to be told and retold until justice is served for six ladies in this story that I'm going to talk about. Women have turned up missing and dead in Chillicothe, Ohio back in 2014, May of 2014 to May of 2015. If I'm quoting that right, but in 1 year, 4 women have died under suspicious circumstances in waterways, and 2 are still missing. And I don't want to try to go through so much information because there's a lot to give. So I want to just let you know that this just give you a brief synopsis, and you can Google the rest or watch the documentary that is playing right now on the ID channel. But this story is derived out of Chillicothe, Ohio. It is 50 miles south of Columbus, Ohio, and they have this strange phenomenon of women, young women, from 20s up until mid to late 30s, missing and dead. 3 out of 6 were found in waterways. One by the name of Shasta, I want to get her name right, Shasta Hemerick, she was found in the river, and they're claiming she killed herself. But her family doesn't think that she killed herself. And the other ladies who were found in the waterways, well, we got common sense enough to know they didn't, walk themselves out there in the middle of nowhere and throw themselves in a creek. All women are linked to be drug users. It is said that their drug of choice was heroin, that they knew of each other, they crossed each other's paths. So one has to ask themselves, who and why? Who did it? Who killed these ladies in Chillicothe, Ohio? Who killed these ladies? Now, these ladies are deemed to have led an unsavory lifestyle. So we're talking about drugs and prostitution. The women prostituted to make money, and the town has at least 23,000 people, so most of them knew of each other. And when you're living that type of lifestyle of using narcotics and drugs, you're going to tend to be around people who do that. So I wouldn't be surprised if the women knew of each other. And I got a feeling they knew of their killer. Now, 5 women are white, 1 is black. Tamika Lynch is the black girl who was 30 years old, who died at the time. Most of the women had children. 1 was trying to get themselves together and get off of drugs, but lost a boyfriend, so she went back into getting high. And I want to give you their names so you can remember them, and their name will always ring a bell and sound familiar. When you hear their name, you'll know, oh, those are the ladies out of Ohio who were found dead and missing. Charlotte Trigo, Tiffany Sayer, Tamika Lynch, Shasta Hemerick, Wanda Lemons, and Timberly Clater. I'm sitting outside telling this story because it's a beautiful day here in Tennessee, and I feel good. I feel blessed. I met some really nice people today. I networked today, because I'm putting my name out there, telling people to watch me on this channel. I'm doing me. And I thought, why not tell this story outside? Because it's a beautiful day, and I got a view of trees or creek myself. And these people are no longer here. So sitting out today in nature was the best way to tell the story. Small town USA, Ohio. 23,000 people estimate live in this town. 4 are found dead. 2 are missing, and nobody has any idea how they got there. Now, mind you, the 3 out of the 6 that were found in waterways, 1 was presumed to have killed herself jumped in a river. But her family doesn't think that she jumped in a river. Then you had another girl who was found shot at a dairy bar 3 times in the head. And we're going to get to that one in a minute. But they found her killer. Now, they haven't linked this Timberly Clater killer to the other ladies. But they did arrest a gentleman for Timberly Clater's killer. And his name is Jason McCreary. He got 28 years to life for her murder. She was shot in his car. They found evidence in his car and at his garage at his home. And he swears he didn't do it. I watched part of his trial on The Vanishing Women on the ID channel. And I want you all to look that up on the ID channel. It is called The Vanishing Women. It's under Valley of the Dam. So when you go on the ID channel, look under Valley of the Dam, and the show is called The Vanishing Women. It has 6 parts to it, 6 episodes. It's a very good documentary, and if you like true crime, please find the show because it's telling. And also search on Google for updates, because this is how I was able to bring you this story today, was getting updates on this story. But 6 women, 4 dead, 2 still missing to this date. All these murders, the 4, took place in a year's time. Back in May of 2014, Tamika Lynch, the black girl, was the first one to go missing. And then thereafter, 6 months later, one was found, went missing. Then another one went missing on the same day as another one, a year later. So it's like, correction, Tamika went missing May 2014, the black girl. Then 6 months later, another one went missing. And on the same day, another girl went missing. 6 months later, in 2014, November. And I don't know if the killer likes killing or kidnapping them on the 3rd of the month, but seems very interesting. The girls went missing like on the 3rd of the month. Very, very odd and suspicious. So let's do the math and some speculation here. All the girls use drugs, crack, heroin, pills. Was it human trafficking? Did they see something? Were they a witness to a crime and somebody wanted to knock them off? What is it? Because you have to admit, in a small town of 23,000, that's a very small place. So people know each other. People know of each other. And I got a feeling the girls knew their killer. They've been around him. Maybe it's more than one. That was a speculation. That it was more than one. Another man name came up in the mix. They called him Dollar Bill. He is currently in prison doing 10 years for assaulting a gentleman, torturing a man. I don't know what transpired with that, but he was a drug dealer, a local drug dealer in Chillicothe, and they're thinking he may have had something to do with the girls' murders as well. Him and this other McCreary guy, because McCreary knew Dollar Bill. It's just intertwining. All these women knew of each other, all used drugs, prostitution, and yet nobody has any idea how they got in the waterways, how one got in a river, how one got shot at a dairy bar. Of course, the dairy bar murder, they linked that to the McCreary guy, but they're wondering if he had anything to do with the other girls who were found dead in the waterways. It is a very intriguing story. I'm glad I found it on the ID channel. I want you all to watch the special on ID channel, The Vanishing Women, because it is mesmerizing. Episode for episode. They did an outstanding job. And they also tie in another case in West Virginia. They bring it into the storyline of a young lady who ended up murdering a man who she met on back pages, I think. And they were thinking that that guy who this lady killed on a date was maybe linked to these ladies in Ohio, but he was not. They found out he never had even been to Ohio. They didn't never find receipts or anything. But I had watched her in another ID documentary, the case that happened in West Virginia, where the girl had a date, and She ended up killing the guy because he came in choking her and everything. And she was in another documentary that the ID channel did. Um, and it was spectacular. I can't remember the name of it, but you can Google it. Um, I don't think she was, ever was the same after that, because when they interviewed her in that storyline, that lady in West Virginia, you could tell she looked like she was doped up. She was wearing a hoodie. She just seemed distant. And lo and behold, I watched this documentary here, The Vanishing Women, and they're showing footage of her interrogation at the police station in this documentary. And I thought, that lady looks familiar. Well, lo and behold, when they heard of her story in West Virginia, Ohio wanted to see, you know, the ins and outs of her story, because it sounded similar maybe to what was going on in Ohio. But they did their investigation and said that guy that she ended up killing never came to Chillicothe. So I don't know. But we know somebody killed these ladies. They didn't just go jump in a creek and kill themselves. So what I'm asking myself is, was it human trafficking? Did they see something? Was a witness to something? Did they owe money? Was it a dope kill where the person, gave them a lethal dose of heroin or fentanyl or whatever and doped them up on purpose? Or were they all just getting high with different people, and then the people said, well, they're dead, can't call the police, let's go drop them off somewhere? But what you have to ask yourself is one thing about that scenario. If it's true, why you haven't heard of any more overdoses in Chillicothe? See, that's the interesting part. This mayhem went on for about a year. From 2014, May, to 2015. 6 women. And after the last girl was discovered or went missing, you never heard of any more missing, and you never heard of any more overdoses or anyone found in any waterways. So what you have to ask yourself, did the killer get investigated and he got scared, moved on somewhere else? Or is the killer actually in prison already? Because there are 2 guys who are affiliated with these women who are now incarcerated. And I always say, when you don't hear anything else, you don't hear any more suspicious deaths, the guy either moved on or he's incarcerated. You tell me what you think. But I want the people of Chillicothe to know, hey, there are some people in other parts of America that are just as concerned, and it is a baffling story. I recommend anybody Googling the story. If you aren't really into true crime, maybe you don't want to watch the series, but it was tastefully done. Very tastefully done. I have to commend ID Channel. You did a wonderful job. A wonderful job. And you did an outstanding job. But Chillicothe, we're thinking about you, and we're praying for those 2 that are missing still. The 2 ladies that are missing. And for the 4 who are deceased. It is a strange tale. I couldn't put it together. I kept trying to figure out how did these ladies end up in the waterways. And I don't know. I don't know about the human trafficking. Because usually they keep the women, and they use them and take them from place to place to place to place, to use them up. Not saying that they wouldn't kill them, but I don't know if I want to think of the human trafficking. And I also think human trafficking has different definitions, because some people think it's just kidnapping of women and using them for prostitution and selling them to different men, But I think prostitution in itself, to me, is a body being trafficked, even though it's willing, but still. You can be out here prostituting, get yourself kidnapped, because you're an easy target to be kidnapped and taken somewhere else and held hostage. It's a dangerous lifestyle. It's very dangerous. And I want to say to any woman out here using drugs, please stop. Because you don't want to end up like these ladies. You don't want to end up like these ladies. Because you see, living a certain type of lifestyle can get you hurt and get you dead. And you can be living right or what's allegedly considered right and get yourself hurt or harmed by another person. But I will say one thing about this story. Haven't heard any more killings. Haven't heard of any more ladies being dumped in the waterways or the creeks or the rivers. And I find that interesting. That in 1 year, the dumping of the ladies stopped. So what you have to ask yourself is the killer locked up? Or is the killer still out there? Leave your commentary below. Thanks a lot. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.